So I'm gonna get started with saying that the first thing I need to do whenever I get home is tighten that up, because every day I do the same thing. And I'm like, whenever I get home, I'm gonna go get my Allen keys and I'm gonna tighten that up so it doesn't fall off. I've been saying that for about a week. This video, I'm gonna just be talking about the current state of like people getting motorcycles and like content with motorcycles and things of that nature, and how I agree and disagree with, you know, some things. All right, so pretty much, let's see, where do I start? The whole shit where people are like, oh, I'm gonna hug a tree at 150, or like making jokes about crashing, or not even jokes, being like, oh, I'm sad, so I'm gonna go and crash. That shit is cringe, and it gives such a bad like connotation and meaning of people like to see bikers, if that makes sense at all. It just gives a bad rep. Not all of us think like that, I promise you. You're gonna go fast, but the thing about it is, like, as long as you're not, you know, being too fucking reckless or stupid. And I'm gonna get into lane splitting and all that in a little bit, but just like, whenever you're riding, that's what you should be thinking about. Like riding, like focusing on the road, paying attention, like it should be peaceful, you know, clearing your mind type of thing. It's supposed to be fun. But I think that you shouldn't get on a motorcycle whenever you're feeling a lot of emotions. If you know that you're the type of person to have, you know, a little bit of anger problems, and, you know, not really be the smartest or rational whenever you're in that state, if that makes any sense. Because whenever you do that, you're not focusing on riding, you're not focusing on, you know, if this car is about to cut in front of me, you're thinking about what just happened, like, why me, why this happened, why blah blah blah. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's another thing. And I'm not gonna say that I'm any better. I have before, but I know my limits. I know what I'm capable of doing. I'm not gonna do anything, you know, I would normally do. Blah blah blah.
Future Parker, I'm editing the video, and I just want to preface, probably 75% of people that ride or want to ride a motorcycle wouldn't be if social media didn't exist, because of how widely impact it has on social media. So a lot of people are just doing it because it's cool and trendy, but that's just, you know.
And I lane split. I'm gonna say this, I lane split, but there's a reason that I feel a certain way about lane splitting, right? I'm obviously not gonna lane split if the fucking hole is tight as shit, right? And second of all, you filter a little bit, you know, there's some filtering involved, so that it's not like I'm right on the side of both of them, you know, unless they're side by side. And then also with lane splitting, right, a car is going to see a car, right? If a car is next to a car, it is not going to try and get in the other lane because it sees that car right there. So what I'm saying is, like, lane splitting really isn't super dangerous. It's whenever the cars are kind of staggered like that, you know, it gets a little sketchy, because, you know, if that car thinks it has enough room and they want to get over, they gonna get over. Because if you're going mock Jesus. If you're speeding, that's another thing. If you're speeding and somebody cuts you off, realistically, they probably didn't even cut you off, because you're just going so fast. Especially on a motorcycle, it's hard to tell how fast you're going in a rear view mirror. Like, I ride with friends, you know, you can't tell how fast a motorcycle is going, especially if you don't ride motorcycles too. You're not looking for them. I know you should be, but let's just be realistic here. Most people aren't looking for a motorcycle going 150 miles an hour. You know what I mean? So like, whenever you're riding, you have to think like, this car literally cannot see me. Like, I'm invisible. Like, I have a fucking cloak over me to where nobody can see me. And that's how you stay alive, you feel me? Because I've had many instances where I've been cut off, people cut in front of me. I've even had sometimes where people start to, you know, merge into me because I'm a little bit behind them in their blind spot. But you see, that's a prime example of what to do whenever you get quote-unquote cut off. I was going at a high rate of speed, and I was paying attention, expecting vehicles to get in my way. So what happened? I had a plan, I adjusted, and I didn't die. That is how you stay alive while being stupid on a motorcycle. You have to understand the consequences and what can happen when doing those things. You know, you just gotta, whenever you're riding, you just gotta make sure, like, you have a plan for if that person cuts in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, you should be thinking the worst. Like, alright, this car that's coming up, what am I gonna do if he merges over? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be thinking about those things. And you gotta have a plan and expect them to, you know, do that. Because if you have a plan, you know what you're gonna do, and you know, you're not gonna be surprised, and you're not gonna get hurt, most likely, unless you literally just can't help what's happening. You feel what I'm saying? I don't really agree with punching people's windows, although sometimes, you know, they really deserve it. I feel like it's better to just keep going, you know, not do that. Because at the end of the day, you're on a motorcycle, all they have to do is turn into you and you're parked. So you gotta be smart about those things.
That's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. You know, don't go around smashing people's mirrors. It's just stupid, you know. Just be respectful on the roads, and most of the time they'll respect you. Have fun, be safe, and enjoy the ride. I'll see you on the next one.